Begin transmission, Dr. Brown.
Oh, darn. Sorry about that. Dr. Antimated Brown here. It is my hope to chronicle through audiovisual means my research involving air pressure and water pressure. Why is pressure so important, you ask? Because it is a basic scientific principle. It wasn't too long ago that even the simplest scientific principles were seen as magic, not science. Why, in Salem, Massachusetts, in the 1600s, many innocent people were accused of practicing black magic. If I had been carrying on these sorts of experiments back then, I might have been accused of being a witch and been burned at the stake. That's not how I want to end up. Well done. But during the Salem witch trials, anything could happen. Marty and I found that out the hard way.
Well, that will be an interesting intro. I know it's a little different, but we are unable to get the theme song. So now I think I know why on YouTube, when you find these episodes, the theme song's not there because it gets blocked, but only in the U.S. and Canada, which is probably a person's majority of their audience. So that is the intro. So yes, this is the wonderful take two of Back to the Future. We have to redo the video because we suffered from Polish Pegasus syndrome, so there was no sound for Toy Story, Alvin and the Chipmunks, Dangerous Minds, and yesterday's video of Back to the Future. So back we go. Oh yes, Back to the Future, the animated series. So we are at it again. Hopefully, we will have sound with a new adapter for the microphone. So I will review this wonderful animated series right after this.
Do you believe in magic?
Oh, what you building, Ronald?
It's a magic time machine.
How does it work?
Stand back. I'll show you. Whoa.
It's about 4 o'clock.
Cool, huh? Oh, yeah. McDonald's goes back to the future with a Happy Meal. Now you can get one of 4 time-traveling toys, like Doc's sparking DeLorean or Vern's zooming junkmobile. One with every Happy Meal you buy. There's no time like the present to go back to the future.
That commercial brings back memories.
I've never seen this.
The commercial I have. Me and my brother made fun of this constantly because I remember the stupid "Do you believe in magic" with stupid Ronald McDonald that me and my brother constantly made fun of. And yes, my mom did actually throw a fit when we were mocking him for whatever reason. He was just a stupid clown. But we did like Grimace and the Hamburglar. So we were nice to them. We just always made fun of Ronald. So yes, the commercial I remember. I remember having the stupid Marty McFly toy as well. These weren't exactly McDonald's toys that we really wanted to get. Let's just say we were kind of one and done with them. Now, what do I remember from this Back to the Future, the animated series? I mostly remember the live action scenes with Dr. Emmett Brown, and yes, that is Christopher Lloyd. So, but he did, uh, however, he was not the voice for the cartoon of Doc Brown in the show. That was voiced by Dan Castellaneta, who, yes, is the voice of Homer Simpson and also the genie in the Aladdin Return of Jafar.
Never seen it.
And he was also a guest. He has made guest appearances on other shows. One of them was Bones. And the voice to Marty McFly is David Kaufman, who was actually his voice double in Stuart Little 2, and also the Back to the Future movies. And yes, to answer any questions, yes, they do have voice doubles apparently. I knew they had body doubles. I knew they had stunt doubles. I did not know.
What's a body double?
Oh boy. Well, no,
I know
we did.
what a stunt double is. What the heck is a body double?
We did go through this yesterday, but like I said, there was no sound, so you couldn't hear it. But yes, if let's just say you didn't want to show your rear end on camera. Let's say I'm not going to use an actor's name because I'll just get grossed out and I'll just cough up my 2 dinners that I had today. So yes, if an actor didn't want to show his butt, they would actually have a butt double. So they would have, yes, they would actually cut in somebody else's behind. Um, or maybe if they burnt their foot in their trailer and they had an injury, maybe then they would have an actor actually be like a foot double or something. But a voice double, I was a little surprised. I was a little confused by that, but I guess something could happen. I guess they could get sick on site, like laryngitis or a cold, or maybe they got stupid one night and decided to down a bottle of Clorox bleach and burn their esophagus. I'm sure this happened to Charlie Sheen. So, so moving on. So now the voice of Michael J. Fox is David Kaufman, and he was in. I always pronounce this wrong.
Well, who the heck is Michael J. Fox and what did they do with him?
Well, he was the voice double to Michael J. Fox, who was the actor Marty McFly, and he was the actor in the Stuart Little movies, and he was also Marty McFly in the Back to the Futures.
Oh, okay.
So that's where Michael J. Fox comes in. And he could have been a voice double in his other movies as well. So David Kaufman was in Rizzoli and the Isles. He was in one episode of that. He was in Danny Phantom. He played Danny Fenton. And he was also in Prom Night. He was the businessman in that. So, yes.
I don't know what one of them are. You want to take a guess?
Oh, it's probably Danny Phantom. I don't even know who Danny Phantom is. I don't even know who David Kaufman is, for that matter.
We'll watch you later.
Oh, joy. So,
I'm watching your crap.
so then we also have Tom Wilson, who is the voice of Biff, and we know he played Biff Tannen in the Back to the Future movies,
Wait, they
1,
actually
2,
had
and
that
3.
person?
Yep.
But they couldn't get the duck dude and the
I don't know why Christopher Lloyd did not voice Doc Brown, but I'm gonna say this. Dan C. We'll just say C since I butcher his name every time, and I actually think I pronounced it right when I was doing the IMDb. I think I actually did sound it out properly, but we're just gonna call him Dan C. So yeah, he actually did a really good effort into actually voicing Doc Brown. It didn't sound just like him. I can tell it was Homer Simpson, but I'm going to give him an A+ for effort. It was definitely there.
You're gonna ahead of yourself here, buddy.
How?
I'm gonna grade something. We ain't done yet. Get to it.
No, I said that I was going to grade him on his performance.
Who's the other person on the movie in the show?
Well, I didn't go through Tom Wilson yet. He was also in Freaks and Geeks, and he was also Delia's boyfriend in Not Charmed. It was Ghost Whisperer. So yeah, we were kind of watching both at the same time. So I do.
One ended, one started.
Yes, but we still watched one after the other, and
Not at the same time.
close enough. So now Mary Steenburgen she is the voice of, I can't remember if it's Claire or Clara. I think it's Clara. And Clara, of course, came into Back to the Future Part 3.
Never seen it.
It's not exactly my favorite one of the franchise. But so Mary Steenburgen, of course, we know she was in Step Brothers.
Never seen it.
You don't want to. She was also in Summer Story.
Never heard of it.
I'm trying to remember. Oh, yeah, she is actually married to Ted Danson, so she was in episodes of Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Never heard of it.
So you are staying right there.
Dan who?
Oh, Ted Danson.
Who's that?
He was in Cheers, Becker. He's going to be in that Three Men and a Baby movie.
Nope.
He was in Three Men and a Little Lady.
Nope.
And wait a minute, Ted Danson's not in that cartoon. Okay, so so we have a couple people from the original, some of the original movies in this cartoon. So live action to cartoon, whatever you want to say. So so that is pretty much it for the cast. Obviously, the story goes from obviously he's having adventures with Dr. Emmett Brown, and the episode that I decided to do because I could not find a very good um, episode, uh, the pilot episode, a good one anyways, with real good quality. It was on a small screen for whatever reason. I don't know why they showed it like that, but there is no way that I am showing the pilot episode on a tiny little screen that is probably the size of that whatever can that is on yes. Yes, it is incredibly small. So we are starting with episode 4, and I believe it is called Witches. And they go to Salem, Massachusetts, and of course they go back to 1692 with the Salem witch trials. So you so imagine Marty McFly during these witch trials. So yes, it does get interesting. I know that this cartoon wasn't really popular with some people. Um, like I said, I remember mostly the live action. This did air at 11 o'clock. I believe it was on CBS. I'm trying to remember the channel exactly. I did look this up yesterday. And redoing things isn't exactly the most fun thing in the world since I thought it was a successful video to begin with, but I will do the best that I can. So, these, like I said, that is the whole story with the witch trials. Marty is a little bit different in the cartoon as well. He isn't. I don't think he's as sharp as he was from the live action. He's a little bit more insecure. He's not. He doesn't seem as confident. He also he is that as well. Yes.
How many girlfriends did you have?
He has a few, and this isn't the only episode that he has that. From what I read, and I did look up other YouTubers talking about this show, and that is one of the gripes. Marty had several girlfriends throughout the episodes, and it seems like he is trying to chase Jennifer. So I understand trying to change a character, but they actually made him worse. They didn't make him better. And also he failed his he also got a C on his music theory test as well. And music is actually his go-to. He is quite knowledgeable about it. And in the show they kind of get away from that a little bit. So I will just get right into it and I will show the first clip in just a second.
That muscle-bound moron?
Of course, this means you're free to take me out. Should I consider that a yes?
Then maybe afterwards you can watch me lift my car.
Hey, lay off her, Kelp, or I'll cut you down to size.
Whose size, McFly? Yours or a normal person's? I'll see you Saturday, Jennifer.
Martin, Seamus, McFly,
Jen, I can't believe you'd sneak out behind my back.
just listen a minute.
No excuses. I don't ever want you to see that jock again.
This isn't fair. You found me guilty without even hearing my side of the story.
Okay, fine. Tell me your side of the story, and then I'll find you guilty.
Marty, dry up.
Well, so Marty here is talking to Dippy Doo with the blue hair. The animation I do question a little bit. This is just one of them. This kelp guy, I guess you can say he's kind of a typical jock. He's wearing 61 on his shirt, but I doubt he can count that high. So obviously, he thinks that Jennifer is hitting on him. Is he right or wrong? We will find out later on. So now Jennifer does push him in that fountain and tells him to dry off. Now I'm not sure, but if Marty has on his jacket from Back to the Future Part 2, that jacket and his clothes would actually have dryers already built into it. So they would already dry off, but I don't think these are the ones. So, yep, he's going to be drenched, and rightfully so. They really did a number on making Marty as stupid as possible, in my opinion.
No,
So, or that. So he joins Snoopy on the list. Snoopy, Bill Murray. I'm
Chip.
sure. Let's ignore that. So So now, something about this show that I didn't really care for either is they kind of jump in. Not that I don't mind seeing Dr. Emmett Brown, because seeing Dr. Brown does make me laugh 99% of the time. But he did kind of jump in and say, "Wait a minute, we went back 3,000 years and we went to Egypt. I know they're explaining this is why they have to. This is why Marty has to go to Salem, Massachusetts." But just to jump in, I thought was kind of annoying. Maybe I'm nitpicking too much. Please
What do you
comment.
mean? You didn't even know what the heck was happening. So I told you.
No, I really didn't. They didn't. In my opinion, they did not explain it well. So I will show that clip in just a second.
Hold it. I inadvertently neglected to mention what was transpiring with the Brown family unit. Meanwhile, about 3,000 years earlier.
Hey, Dad, what do those guys get so mad about?
Mary, I speculate the ancient Egyptians don't have much of a sense of humor, especially with their national monuments. And you get that much plaster anyway. How's the train?
Hurry, Emmett! Ready for departure, Jules. Destination Hill Valley.
Prepare for temporal displacement. Throw the spear! Wait, stop the flux capacitor!
So here's the scene that I'm talking about. It goes to live action Emmett Brown, then it talks about him going to see the Egyptian pyramids, which is actually pretty cool. I think the idea was really good to have an animated series to Back to the Future. You can do a lot with it. And Dr. Brown's character was cool with his kids and also bringing Clara. You know what? Maybe they could have just cut Marty out of this entirely. Maybe that would have made it better and just had it with Doc and his kids. Oh, we have a question. I can tell a little bit. I didn't say it was exactly like him, but I can tell that it's not his voice. I can tell that it's definitely the voice of Homer Simpson. After you watch that show for several years,
Doesn't sound like them.
for several years, and then you saw Return of Jafar. You get the voice in your head, and you can see it. But like I said, he does a very good job sounding like Dr. Emmett Brown. So, like I said, I really do applaud him for his effort. It was there. So now they're in Egypt, and yes, this was amusing. And his kid's name is Jules, and yes, Jules and Verne, which of course was Jules Verne was a very famous author. He wrote 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. So very good author, and that was a awesome story. He was sort of ahead of his time with things. He of course had the submarine in 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea before they were invented. So very cool names, and of course the dog's name is Einstein. Um, Surprisingly, Frank Welker was not a part of this project. I was very surprised. I was actually looking for his name, and he was not there. I thought he would have been the voice of Einstein, or one of the kids for that matter. So, moving on. So, he's in, obviously, ancient Egypt, and they kind of deface one of the pyramids with which I thought was very amusing. So obviously they have to run to the train. The flux capacitor is broken, and I believe that's how they end up in Salem, Massachusetts. So now I was watching this on my tablet, so this part didn't make sense to me at first, but then after actually watching it on a TV, it did at that point make sense. Yes, and then having my wonderful fiance explain to me that this did make sense. It was just sort of, in my opinion, it was still kind of poorly timed. So, so now moving on. So Marty does, he ends up getting a message to go to Salem, Massachusetts. So I will show that clip in just a second.
Greetings from Massachusetts. Hey, it's one of Doc's scratch and listen postcards.
Marty, locomotive crash landed at Salem. Bring DeLorean and spare flux capacitor to September 23rd, 1692 at once.
Okay, Heine, we'll take off right after I comb my hair.
I said at once.
September 23rd.
So a very interesting part here. So now he does get to Doc Brown's house here, but he was I might be nitpicking here. I might just being I just might be a reviewing little weasel, but he was writing he was writing a hoverboard in modern time. He got that into the future, but he's riding the hoverboard. What if somebody sees that? They're gonna look at that weird. I mean, now we actually do have something similar to this, and
No, we don't.
uh,
It's ridiculous.
uh,
It does not help it. It's not real.
yeah, right, and yeah, and football players like to get injured on them, and well, that's a story for another time. But yeah, this would be a little bit odd here, seeing him on a hoverboard in modern times. So whatever, I
What
get
year
it.
was he when he got it?
It was into the future, so that would have been. I forgot what year they went to. I thought it was 2025,
They were up for 2025. Good to know.
but I think that's the year that they ended up jumping to. I thought it was. I thought that was it, and there he is in 19 whatever this is supposed to be on a hoverboard.
80
So
something?
yeah, so it just didn't really. Whatever. It's a cartoon. It is what it is. It's done. But maybe seeing it as a kid, I would have thought it was cool. But looking at it now, yeah, that's a little bit odd. But anyways, so he goes to Doc Brown's and he sends him this wonderful little postcard with his voice on it, and it did make me laugh, especially when Marty said he was going to fix his hair and Doc yells at him. I thought that was quite amusing. So Marty does get his little butt in the DeLorean, and at least it doesn't break down. It gets to 1692, but there's a few problems on the way. It goes in water for one. Um, little Einstein does press the button to inflate it, but they do it when they're already in the water. So I would have thought one of them would have had the sense to use that before, but they don't.
You know the one's a dog, right?
Yes, but his name is Einstein, and I thought the dog would be smarter than Marty. So
Try out see if you fool the thing.
yes, but he should have. Now, if he pulled it before, I would have really applauded that. But it's fine. It was amusing anyway. So then it turns out that this is typical Marty fashion. He's knocking things over with the DeLorean to get to his destination. So I will show the destination in just a second.
I know brakes! This thing is driving itself!
Welcome to Salem, Massachusetts. I had you on board a remote. How was the ride?
Well, the dirt ball is going. So it turns out that Marty is not controlling the car. It is actually Doc Brown. But either way, Marty does like to have a way to destroy property going into his destination. So a few cows, a few pigs, a few fences. It's no big deal. So then he does end up in the cave, and that's where
Did
the
you say cows?
yeah, I did.
There was no cows.
I want to say cows anyway. So then he does wind up in the cave with the locomotive. So now Doc Brown says that he's there now. He just has to freshen him up. So we will see what attire good old Marty gets to wear. So I will show that clip in just a second.
What's everybody staring at? I mean, I know I'm dressed like a geek, but
Marty, in this society, everyone dresses like a geek. The Puritans are suspicious of strangers, that's all. Once they get to know you,
They treat you even worse. What's he in for?
he assaulted my ears with vile speech when I ran over his hog.
Boy, that's strict.
The Puritans just have very high standards of behavior, that's all.
What's she wearing that S for?
She was caught stealing at the general store. That guy made a glutton of himself at the town social.
And what about that one?
He fell asleep in church.
So this is Marty here dressed up as one of the wonderful Puritans. So then Doc Brown is pretty much explaining everything.
You know, I saw some pilgrims yesterday, right?
Oh, I forgot. Yeah, we can call them Pilgrims, Puritans. I will just call them what the point is. Their way of life here is a little goofy. So obviously there's a dog captured there. There's a guy. I forgot what that wooden thing is called. It's not a guillotine because there's no blade coming down on them. So unless it is, and they just got rid of the blade for the cartoon.
No, it's the
I forgot what it's called. So these are called a pillory. So there's even a dog that's in one. I would hate to see what that dog did. Um, so now they so now they also do shame people other ways. The one fat guy that's walking around with the C, apparently he was a clown at some um, party or gathering. I'm sure he just ate too much unbaked eggnog pie and also went nuts on Little Caesars, Crazy Puffs, and washed it down with a Mountain Dew Mango Rage. So, um, so then there was somebody else that got shamed for sleeping in church. Hey, I'm with that person all the way. I can't blame them for that. And then of course the one was caught stealing. So I'm sure it was at the local Puritan Walmart. The way that she looked, she would fit in perfectly. So now moving on. So now Marty does have his little I guess, wisecrack at the whole witch trial thing. He made a broomstick comment, and Doc Brown quickly had to get him
I
out
did
of
not
there.
know that yet.
Oh, well, I could just see Marty being dragged out by his wonderful Puritan costume collar. So this is part of the animation that I was talking about. The Puritans look like some of them look like monsters. The guy that's talking on the screen that is paused kind of looks like a weird looking Mr. Burns, and there was sort of a lurch looking guy at the
That sounds like him too.
it kind of does. And there was like a lurch looking guy at the beginning of the scene.
What's
So
alert?
he was from the Adams family. So I will show that clip in just a second.
Music. And with dogs and other dumb beasts do they converse. Hey, don't forget, they use broomsticks too. Doc, did you hear that? They actually believe in witches.
So here's Marty's little wisecrack, and that does look like I guess a Puritan Mr. Burns. So it kind of does sound like him a little bit. I will have to look up and see what Mr. Burns, what he did the um, voice in. I know Fairly Odd Parents was definitely one of them.
That's who?
The one that always says Fairly Odd Parents, the one that always tries to get them for, I guess, for having.
Mr. Crocker?
I think so.
I can see that.
It sounds like him, anyways. I could be totally wrong on this. So this is Marty, and Doc Brown, of course, has to pull him away, and now we get to meet a reoccurring villain on all the Back to the Futures. So I will show him in just a second.
Traveling mail. Yes, Goodman Cannon.
Oh, not another fifth strung.
Once again, you have neglected to retrieve and dispose of my refuse barrels.
My apologies. I'll collect them now with the help of Martin, my nephew.
Doc, you're a garbage man?
A fascinating way to explore the Puritan culture. In addition, I've started a recycling program.
By heavens above, I'll get ye for this!
So this would not be a Back to the Future without good old Biff Tannen. So of course Marty kind of rolls his eyes a little bit. Um, yes, so Biff is back, and in Biff fashion, he does run into manure at some point again. So so I guess Tom Wilson decided to do a returning voice to the Back to the Future animated cartoon. So yeah, so I guess Biff is going to be right back into all of these little stories, no matter what year they go to. There's always going to be a Biff. So now I will show the next clip in just a second here. I think Marty gets himself into some more trouble. So I will show that clip in just a second.
Notice the stranger. I've not seen anyone jump about in such fits since Gertie Magoo, and you know what we did to her.
Into Kit.
Are you all right?
Oh, now that you're here, I'm so fine. Just call me Marty.
Would you care to take a stroll in the moonlight, Marty?
Oh, get out of town. Are you kidding? You bet.
Is that a yes or a no? And let me warn you, I don't take kindly to men who say no.
Oh, it's
What's the matter?
that big goon over there is mad at me. He's such a chump.
Oh, that's no chump. That's my father.
In that case, my answer is no. I better go walk my dog. Bye.
Want with you, daughter?
He made improper advances toward me, father.
What?
So because he was jumping up and down there, now the people there now think Marty is a witch. So I guess Biff there looked. Of course, he is ready to just jump on this. This is typical Biff fashion. So now he plays a harmonica. So this kind of gets him into more trouble. So I will show that clip in just a second.
Oh, hi, big guy. How'd you like it?
Throw him in the stockade!
Let's not get carried away. Okay. I could use some lessons.
Yeah, he's a witch.
Well, so now they're putting good old Marty here on the stockade. So I don't know if you could tell from these other characters here, but they do look like they are that they don't really look like people. They definitely do look like they are some type of creatures. It looks like they could be from maybe Tales from the Crypt or the Addams Family or something like that. So now I will show the next clip. Let's see what happens to Marty now that he is in the stockade. What would have been interesting is if they put Principal Strickland into some of these clips. That would have been really cool, and they have James Tolkien actually do the voice, but they didn't do any of that. So now I will show that clip in just a second.
And miserable object has been known to carry himself in an unwanted manner and burst forth into sudden shrieks and fits.
With his black magic, this scoundrel levitated a barrel of refuse, dumped its contents on my head, then bewitched my horse.
He communicates with beasts of the field with a musical satanic mouth talks.
I object. It's called a harmonica, lady.
The nephew Martin made brazen overtures and attempted to enchant me by speaking in a strange and evil tongue and doing the devil's dance.
Hey, that was one of James Brown's best moves.
Seeing that I was immune to his evil schemes, I discourse with his dog.
Discourse? I was just talking with him. Isn't that right, Einstein? Discourse means talking? Oh, I didn't know that.
So here's Marty getting his things mixed up here. So he didn't think that discourse meant talking. I wonder what he actually. I just wonder what he actually thought that they were talking about. So that's that's what I thought, and this is a children's cartoon for this time, so that was pretty amusing. So there's good old Marty there. So the wonderful people that are that want to hang Marty better look themselves in the mirror because they look like if you want somebody to look like a witch, just look at the jury. So good old Marty here. Let's see what happens to him because I believe the final clip is showing up. So I will show that in just a second.
Heidi!
Prepare to reveal your true self, nephew Martin, if that is your real name.
Ah!
That was necessary. Not the wet there.
Yeah, the lad was innocent.
So the Marty here. So I guess the rule is if you sink, you're innocent. If you float, you're a witch. So either way, you're dead. So obviously, if you sink, you drown. If you float, well, then they just take you out and they burn you at the stake. Terrific.
We
So,
not do things peaceful way. I want to make a peaceful. Stoning, hanging, burning, drowning.
yeah, pretty much this was, and this is done to innocent people too. So, yeah, yeah, very interesting times, I must say. So, so Marty obviously, he does end up getting away, but we did not show the end of the episode. You're gonna have to check that out for yourself. So, so now it's time to do the little review on this cartoon. And I will be honest, when I was going to watch this, I was honestly planning on just taking a big old dookie on it. This wasn't quite as bad as I remember. I do remember watching this as a kid and not really caring too much about it. Now, looking back on it and actually watching a couple episodes, I have a little bit more respect for it. They did bring Bill Nye on, so you did get a history lesson and a science lesson, and you got a cartoon on top of that, which had to deal with historical things, maybe not always accurate, but you get the idea. At least you maybe learned something. And now cartoons are just complete garbage. So, yes, I didn't like Marty's character, but Doc Brown and his kids did kind of make this a somewhat enjoyable cartoon. It wasn't that bad. Okay, the McDonald's toy I got went in the garbage, but that's besides the point. They tried to promote the cartoon the best way they could, and it lasted from 1991 to 1993. Not a great run, but overall, it really wasn't awful. So if I did have to grade this, I would probably give this a B minus. Um, Overall, not bad. The animation I do question. Obviously, Marty's character I honestly didn't care for at all. But and like I said, it was Doc Brown that did carry it, the live action and also the cartoon version as well. So and Clara wasn't that bad either. I did kind of like how they tied her in. I didn't mind Biff. So so like I said, it was pretty good. It is worth watching. However, I will. So, however, I will say finding this on YouTube was it was like getting a painful prostate exam. It was downright brutal. Believe it or not, I'm going to. If you were a fan of this show, I am going to flat out tell you to go on eBay and pay for it because you can buy the entire series for I believe I found it today for $8.99, and that's including shipping. So it is actually a good deal. I might end up getting it myself. I want to watch at least 5 more episodes before I do it. I'm sure there are people that really do enjoy this cartoon, and for those that do, I am going to highly recommend you go on eBay and pay the $8.99.
Yeah, especially if you Roku remote breaks in and doesn't want to work.
If you yes, I would like to get into that right now. If your Roku remote is busted, YouTube buffers, just buy the thing. I, I know that people don't have a DVD player. Fork up the money for that. They are not that expensive. You could probably get one for $10. So really you'd be spending $18 and you'd have the whole series, a DVD player, and it's always there to have a physical copy because like I've said, with streaming services, they are just like politicians. They are just the most unreliable things, and they take things away. So, so I mean, this the smart technology is great when it works. Streaming services are great when they work, but they buffer. Like I said, they take things off. So, in my opinion, you were just better off just buying the DVDs. Um, just because, like I said, the whole series for $8.99, you cannot beat the price. So please comment below. Let me know if you did like this series, if you remember it. If you think I'm being too harsh with it, you can let me know that too. Um, Honestly, I don't really. You could love this show. I do understand why. If you don't like the show, I understand that too. Uh, so please comment below, subscribe if you want, and I will thank those new subscribers for subscribing. And thank you very much for watching.